guys. How's it going? I hope everyone is doing good, doing all right whenever you tune in and see this. So, yes, I am back and we are going to be doing the readings for Scorpio and Sagittarius, all right, from March. So, I wanted to come back yesterday, but was feeling a little under the weather with my allergies and stuff and had other things I needed to do anyway. So, but here we are today is all divine timing, as they say, all right? So yes, so everybody is welcome, whether you have Scorpio in your chart, wherever you have Scorpio in your chart is what I meant to say, and wherever you have Sagittarius in your chart, everyone is welcome, since we all have Scorpio and Sagittarius somewhere, even if it's just the house of Scorpio or the house of Sagittarius. All right. So, yes. And I wanted to also say that we pulled all of your cards here, Scorpio, right underneath the sound bell. And so we'll get into your reading in just a moment here. I will be providing timestamps after the live is done for some people later who just want Scorpio or just want Sagittarius. And I will put in timestamps of when I do the shuffling for Sagittarius and when after I do the shuffling for Sagittarius, for some people who don't care to see the shuffling or they don't have time, etc. All right. So I will be doing both of those things later in the timestamps. I'll put it in the description box below, and then I'll also make a comment under the video as well. But yes, so yeah, let's go ahead and get into your reading here, Scorpio. I already took your photo. I take one photo of all the cards, and I will also be uploading that after the live is done for some people who want to see it. All the photos, all the cards up close in one photo for a later time, or to pull it up while they listen if they're watching this later, etc. All right. So again, after the live is done, you can click in the description box below and just follow the little instructions there on how to get to my Facebook page. All right, if that's something that you're interested in. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh yes, it's a general reading. So for both the readings, Scorpio and Sagittarius. So it can cover anything like love, work, friends, family, health, money, etc. And both of the readings are timeless as well. So they may resonate before or after March 2023. It could be a little bit in the past or a little bit in the future by a couple of months, etc. Okay, so always take it how it may resonate for you. And whenever you see this video, it is meant for you. If you feel that it is speaking to you in some way and it feels like it may resonate for you. All right. And if it doesn't, never force it. Check out your other placements, your sun, moon, rising signs as an example. Cafe Astrology is one of the free sites out there that does birth charts for free, even if you don't know your birth time. All right. So with all that being said, I want to do a sound bell and go ahead and get started with the Scorpio reading. All right. So yeah, just be aware it's going to be loud for a few moments, but it won't be forever. Feel free to take a couple of deep breaths in and out if you feel guided, or just listen. But basically, we're going to cleanse the energy. We're going to ground ourselves, right? We're going to let go of anything we've been holding on to. And me as the reader, I want to make sure that I am channeling the messages from Spirit as clearly as possible for you guys too. Okay. So it's just kind of get into that vibration for the reading. All right, so here we go for Scorpio. All right. Scorpio. Okay. So let's see what we have here for you, Scorpio. All right, so we are going to be talking about a 4-week time period, right? Essentially, right? Since it's general reading, but always change that if how it may resonate for you. All right, so each card on the top, the first 4 cards, may correspond to a week's time frame or so, but it's not set in stone. Okay, it's just like a general guideline. All right. So we're saying the first card, first week could be from around March 1st through the 7th. Second card, second week, maybe from around March 8th through the 15th. The third card could be from around March 16th through the 22nd. And the fourth card and fourth week could be from around March 23rd through the 31st. Okay. So again, not set in stone with the time frames. I will say them again when we're on each card, but I just wanted to get that out there first as well. All right, so let's see what we have here for you, Scorpio. You've got the 9 of Swords in the reverse position. You have the Temperance card in the reverse position. You have the 10 of Cups in the right side up position. And you have the Queen of Swords in the reverse position. All right, and then we'll go over the other cards a little bit later. I don't want to call them out just yet. And we have your Oracle card at the end. Okay, so yeah, let's see here, Scorpio. As far as your major arcanas, for some people who want to know what other zodiac frequencies are showing up here in your reading, you definitely have Sagittarius with the Temperance card. You have Pisces. You've got Scorpio yourself a little bit, or another Scorpio, right? You've got Aquarius, Leo, and Taurus, okay? Because you have the World card. So it's 4 different zodiac signs all in one card. All right. So what does that mean for some people? It means they could be dealing with a Sagittarius, a Pisces, another Scorpio or yourself, an Aquarius, a Leo, or a Taurus. Or it could be that you're looking at something that's referencing one of those seasons. Okay. So Sagittarius season of this year, of last year, of next year, or Pisces, or again, Scorpio, Aquarius, Taurus, Leo. Okay. So just kind of take it how it may resonate. And then it could, if it's not any of those, it could also be that if you're dealing with one other person or even multiple people, that a lot of those things are heavily, like predominantly in your birth chart or the other person's birth chart. Or it could also be referencing something in your birth chart or their birth chart that maybe give you further clues about why you've come to this reading. Again, if it's for money, health, or love, or all those things, right? Or it may mean nothing at all, okay? But I like to call it out in the beginning. All right, and then let's call out real quickly too your minor arcanas. What is the most predominant one? So we've got 2 swords, a cup. Well, no, I'm sorry. 2 swords, 2 cups, and a pentacle. Okay. And then the rest are the major arcanas. Okay. So it looks like it's a tie between the swords and the cups. Okay. So what does that mean? It can be an underlying theme to the reading, that there can be a lot of emotions. That's what the cups in the tarot talk about. And when we're talking about swords, it can be about our mental health. Is my mental health in a good place, in a not so good place? And is it being affected, of course, by the emotions? Okay. So again, this reading, Scorpio, may be about you or someone you're dealing with, or multiple people you're dealing with, or just your general environment situation. Okay. So again, this is just like something I like to do in the beginning before we get started. To talk about the majors and minors real quickly. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get started here, Scorpio. So this is your first card, first week, which may be from around March 1st through the 7th, we said. And it's a beautiful reversal. It's the 9 of Swords in the reverse position. This is how you want to see this card, right? So this can be a little bit from the recent past as well, since it's the first card, Scorpio. But it is about letting go of anxiety, worry, overthinking on someone's part, if we're talking about a person, or just the energy in general. Okay, so there is that beautiful energy in the first week of saying, okay, I no longer want to be stressed out, or the other person or the general environment situation is turning out of that energy. Okay, which is good because it's never fun to be there, and we always as humans get have to be there from time to time, or we just find ourselves there if we don't have to be. All right, so maybe yeah, I said have to be there. I'm like, wait, it's always a choice, right? So maybe somebody's making a choice here to come out of that. Okay, but either way, however it may resonate, that's a really nice energy to start your reading off here with Scorpio. But let's look what's underneath it, because actually this is where Spirit wanted me to talk to you about these other two cards on the bottom. Okay, so these are energy from the past, could be a couple days ago, weeks, months, years, etc. Whatever the past is for you. Okay, and they made it possible for that Nine of Swords in the reverse position to show up here in your first week. Okay, so what you have is the Five of Cups in the reverse position in the past, another great reversal, and then the World in the right side up position as well. So it looks like here that in the past, Scorpio, somebody or some energy started to integrate, or yeah, I guess integrate could be a way to say it. Integrate seeing things not just from a negative viewpoint or focusing on the things that had gone wrong. Okay, so somebody started to come out of that or work on seeing things that are positive as well as negative, seeing that there are people and situations that could still make life a little bit more easier, right? And again, to have that balance. So somebody or some energy started to do that in the past with that Five of Cups in the reverse position, and then it led to the World. Okay, so then it led to some type of ending, new beginning, fresh start energy. And here we have those four different zodiac signs: the Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, and Taurus. Okay, um, but this is really nice to see, right? So, and when we see sometimes the cards that are underneath, right, because that's how it came out, sometimes they explain what's going on here and sometimes they don't really. Okay, I mean, they do in a different way, but here it definitely makes sense in a more clear cut way. Like, okay, somebody did that work in the past, and then there was an ending, new beginning, fresh start energy that then led to the letting go of anxiety, worry, overthinking, staying too much up in the head, staying up late at night. Somebody or some energy let that go again because of this past energy. Okay, so I said this is more clear cut and makes sense. Okay, or at least does to me. Hopefully for you guys as well. um, but yeah, like I said, sometimes when we see what's underneath the cards, it doesn't always exactly explain it as clear cut as that. Okay, so I like it when it's clear cut. Okay, but let's keep going and see what else we have here for you, Scorpio. So by the time we get to the second week, though, there is a little bit of energetic blockage, slowdown of energy, gentle reminder, or challenge, as I always say. Okay, with that Temperance card in the reverse position, we have Sagittarius energy. So it could be that somebody or some energy is having a hard time being patient with something. Okay, so maybe they're like, I let go of this anxiety, worry, overthinking. Why isn't the energy moving faster? Or why isn't this moving faster, right? As an example. It could be you, another person, or the energy in general, multiple people. But it could also be that somebody or some energy is having a hard time balancing something, right? If the Temperance card was right side up, she's all about balance. She's got one foot in the water, one foot on the land. She's taking water in two different cups. Okay, that's alchemy, transmuting energy. She's taking the emotions and shifting through them and making sense of them, right? So, because it's in the reverse position, it could be somebody or some energy is still having a hard time making sense of some emotions going on, or it's just that lack of balance in general, right? So, you could say that, again, if she was right side up, the land could be the 3D physical world that we live in, this table, these cards, right? And then the 5D spiritual world could be the water, okay, as an example. So when it's in that reverse position, it could be somebody's having a hard time balancing between the spiritual side of things and possibly the more 3D side, physical world of things, okay? But now we're going to look underneath again and see even more insight about why this card maybe showed up here. But before we do that, I want to take a little brief pause here and just pull back. Um, So Scorpio, if there was something that you wanted to accomplish during March, the most favorable week so far it looks like that third week of March. Okay, so from March 16th through the 22nd, if there's something within your control as far as travel or manifestation, prayers, spells, vision boards, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to call it. Okay, that looks like the third week might be the best week to do that. Okay, not that the other ones are terrible, but um, the third week definitely looks like the best. Okay, the first is really good as well, but the third is a little bit better. Okay, all right, so now let's look what's underneath this temperance card. Okay, so we have again past energy coming in here, explaining why possibly this temperance card is in the reverse position. All right, so we have the Five of Pentacles in the right side up position and the Hanged Man Pisces energy again, also in the right side up position. Okay, so again, energy from the past. And let me actually close this a little bit. Because I feel like it's super bright and you won't maybe be able to see the cards if the glare from the sun is too much. So hold on. Let's see. Just close this a little bit. Okay. All right. So yes, here we are. So hopefully you can see them a little bit better. And I try to switch the view a little bit just so you guys could see more of what's going on. But let me know in the comments down below if you like the other view where the camera is closer, okay? But again, that's always why I kind of take that photo at the end too of all the cards, all right? So here, again, we have Five of Pentacles right side up and the Hanged Man in the right side up position. So it looks like here in the past, Scorpio, there could have been a lot of focus on building material wealth, our finances, working on that kind of abundance, okay? Now, it could be that also in the past there was this a little bit of stubborn energy perhaps around building the finances, or if it wasn't finances or wealth, it could have also been building, when we talk about pentacles, our values, our value systems, that kind of thing in the past, okay? But it still felt like really difficult here, okay? It's that Five of Pentacles is, I mean, it's halfway to 10, which is the highest number in each minor arcana in the tarot, but it's still pretty far away, right? So it's not Nine of Pentacles or even 8 or 7, it's 5, okay? So somebody or some energy here was really working on that in the past, again, with finances or values in some way. And then when we have the Hangman in the right side up position, okay, following it, it's like somebody perhaps in the past needed to see something from a different perspective. They could have been open to it, you could have been open to it, but that's what was needed to possibly help with the finances or with the values or value systems being valued, right? Am I being valued enough? Is the other person, is the environment valuable to me? Those are kind of like typical questions I might mention when I'm talking about that. If you've seen me before, you know, right? But for the new people, I have to say it as well. All right, so when you put that with that Hangman Pisces energy, it's like, yes, how can I pull back and see something from a different perspective, viewpoint, angle, philosophy, lens, okay, however you want to say it, to again work on the finances or work on being valued, okay? So when we put that together with this Temperance card in the reverse position, perhaps because somebody or some energy was in that Hangman energy, it's slow, right? The Hangman energy, well, not super slow, but it's like, yeah, if you are hanging upside down, all the blood, okay, is going to your head. You can't stay there forever, but it's definitely that new perspective that was needed in the past. It's not always an easy process. So then to switch out of that, like let's say the Hangman then gets down from being upside down, and then he's got to sit up and he's got to start reorienting himself to the world the way it is when he's standing up, for the blood to go back to the rest of his body, etc. Right? So that could be the reason why somebody or some energy in the present current possibilities in that second week with the temperance card in the reverse position wants things to hurry up or wants things to be more in balance. But it kind of goes back to the Nine of Swords. It's like, if you're going to let go of the anxiety, worry, overthinking, or the other person, environment, etc., it doesn't happen like right away, right? So it's a process of healing or reorienting yourself or their self to these changes. Okay. So again, the energy is not super fast in that first week or two, but by the time we get to the third week, Scorpio, things start to really speed up, and now you have forward momentum. Now you have progress. Okay. And it could be something around something emotionally fulfilling or satisfying, right? Because you have the 10 of Cups now in the right side up position. Okay. So to go from the Temperance in reverse to then the 10 of Cups, it's like, yeah, if you had to slow down a little bit here, the other person did, the environment, to be more patient, it's like it's going to pay off here in some way. Okay. 10 of Cups is a great energy and great card. It's saying that something is emotionally fulfilling, satisfying. It can talk about celebrations, right? Gatherings, coming together with friends, but it's like something really nice, happy emotions. Okay, we see the castle, the rainbow. These people are then going to go to the party and cross over into the castle. Okay, so it also, because it is a 10, it can talk about endings and new beginnings emotionally. It could also talk about somebody or something leveling up in some way emotionally, right? Going to the next step. But it feels really nice here, Scorpio. Again, I think that's probably your best week here as far as March. But let's see what else we have here for you, okay? But yeah, awesome. Enjoy the third week, okay? So now when we get to possibly your fourth week, because nothing is set in stone as far as the dates, right? This could be more towards the third and fourth week, or it could be for some and even to April, right? Just take it out how it may resonate. But now when we get to the fourth card, fourth week that we're giving those guidelines for, we said it could be from around March 23rd through the 31st. We have the Queen of Swords in the reverse position, okay? So don't know why that is, right, Scorpio, since it is a general reading, but it's almost like some energy or something here then slows down again, completely slows down and stops. Perhaps somebody was not ready to level up in some way emotionally with the Queen of Swords in the reverse position. Or perhaps because of this ending and new beginning and all these happy emotions, perhaps then it maybe confused somebody or something, some energy in some way with the Queen of Swords in the reverse position. If the Queen of Swords was right side up, that's mental clarity, right? That's using our crown chakra, of thinking of more in the 3D world, going back to the Temperance card that we talked about, the physical world. But because it's following that 10 of Cups, it's almost like somebody or some energy is having a hard time maybe separating or integrating the emotions with the logical mind here. Because remember, you started with the Swords card, 9 of Swords in reverse, great reversal, and then you're ending with the Swords card in reverse, but it's not a great reversal, right? It's not the end of the world or to scare anybody, but it is kind of just like, what happened here, what triggered this to happen. Okay, now it could be for some as well that if you or they are resisting any type of leadership role or confidence in general, it could be that somebody's not confident in their more logical mind, because if they did that in the past, or you did that in the past, it went too far and it was like overthinking. So perhaps because there's all these happy emotions, this ending, new beginning with the Ten of Cups, that they're like, okay, if I start using my logical mind again, how do I make sure it doesn't go too far? Perhaps for some, maybe not everybody, but it also could just be leadership roles, confidence here. Um, Also, normally with the Queen of Swords, if she was right side up, she's known as the most cold kind of queen in the tarot. She's like the no nonsense, cut out the bullshit woman. The way they depict her in this deck, if she was right side up, is this Japanese woman, and she's kind of smiling and looking down on the Japanese islands. Okay, so it's adding this like humility and more warmth. But because it was reversed, it could be that there needs to be more humility or warmth around working with the logical mind 3D world. So it doesn't go into Nine of Swords again, where it's too strong, right? So it's like, how can I balance between the emotions and the physical world, physical body, in a logical way that's also not so harsh. Okay, that's kind of how I see it. All right, but let's keep going here, Scorpio, and see what else we have for you. We have one more tarot card, and then we have your oracle card as well. So your tarot confirmation card over here is going to come in and confirm all 4 cards, all 4 weeks. Okay, so again, we have some Pisces energy. We have the High Priestess here for you. Okay, and this card is a combination of past and future energy. All right, so the High Priestess is all about embracing your intuition, right? The knowledge of self, okay, first before you know anything else. So a lot of times in the, oh, sorry, let me turn that down. It's just ambient music for the dogs, and then sometimes there's commercials. But what I was going to say was a lot of times when you see the High Priestess and she has a book here, usually she's holding scrolls, right? So that's the, it can talk about secrets, but it's more about esoteric knowledge, right? The knowledge of self, okay? And then using that to kind of be a high priestess, be an empress, a queen, okay, whatever it is, right? So stepping into royalty energy, but doing it from a place where there is just this inner knowing, like trusting your gut reactions to things, okay? They call her in this deck the priestess of the silver star, okay? So you always see usually a moon over the high priestess, right? Getting in touch with our bodies, what we're 90% water. So what is the moon doing? What are the planets doing that can affect our bodies? That's another thing. But I really feel like the high priestess is coming in here to tell you, Scorpio, that if that, again, those first 2 weeks are a little bit slow down of energy, that it's going to pay off, because in the third week you get that Ten of Cups. But then it's also kind of saying here with the Queen of Swords in reverse as your last 4th card, if you want to be able to switch that, right, because you always have free will, and depending on when you see this video, then add the humility, add a little bit of warmth with that logical mind, the crown chakra, and pair it with the emotions, with the Ten of Cups, and then it will be easier, right? And then you can keep moving forward. All right. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling. That this is what it's saying here. So with that being said, Scorpio, let's get you a little oracle card before you go. So this one, when it came out, I was like, oh, that's super interesting. Okay, so it's the Jupiter card. And we do have 3 astrology things happening in March with Jupiter. Okay. So that could be like an extra thing. Maybe it'll be affecting Scorpio placements more heavily. We have Jupiter conjunct Chiron on March 12th. We have Jupiter semi-square Saturn on March 21st. Where's the other one? Oh, sorry, I read it the wrong way. Okay, so March 12th, March 19th, and March 21st. So March 19th, Jupiter semi-squares Uranus as well. Okay. So Jupiter is, the planet of expansion. It expands everything it touches, right? When we think of Jupiter, a lot of times in astrology or in tarot, we think of luck. Okay, so it definitely can be about luck. Um, but it's also about religion, politics, media, marketing, education, travel, right? All those things. Okay. But let's see what this little book has to say, since these are these newer Oracle deck that I have and I don't have it memorized. I'm not going to read all of it, but just kind of a couple key things here about what else it's saying here for you, Scorpio. All right, so it says Jupiter is often a welcome sight emerging from darkness, shimmering with possibilities. It is the planet of growth, expansion, success, and I can't talk today. It's okay. And an evolution, and elevating. Oh my god, I can't do it. And oh my god, guys, help me out here. You know what I'm trying to say? Hopefully, elevating. Thank you. Okay. When this card appears, the future is full and bright, perhaps even dazzling. Everyone wants to be around Jupiterian energy and to claim a little bit for themselves. So there is likely a magnetic feeling at play when this card shows up. All right. Let's see what else it says. Jupiter is said to reside in the pointer finger. Okay, this is our pointer finger, right? So use mantras and visualizations to enliven and balance its expansive energy and good fortune. All right, so interesting. So if you're into like the Indian hand placements or mudras that can bring about different meditations and vibrations, then it's talking about using that finger. Okay. Let's see what else here. In many ways, Jupiter goes hand in hand with success. Elevate what this concept means to you. Who and what determines your success? All right, so it's definitely a good point and something to think about. Let's see what else it says here. Jupiter's bigness, part of its work that it does is to keep things in balance while they're expanding, while the expanding is taking place. Its shadow is mostly seen in celebrity culture, excess consumption, and the messaging of there's never enough. Okay. You may begin comparing yourself with others or assessing your value. Don't double judge yourself for this. Jupiter happens. Okay. Instead, realign with the beneficent message in your heart. What truly needs expanding, it's likely not your followers or your bank account. Okay. And then this deck always talks about some kind of movie or film or artwork, music that you can get more into the energy of this card. So it says, watch the movie Almost Famous. But yeah, it basically, last thing it says here is to ponder or think about expansion and contraction. Okay, so what's the difference between getting bigger and then getting smaller, right? So yeah, that's interesting what it said about, the celebrity culture and never having enough is like the shadow side of Jupiter, which is cool because I don't think a lot of people, talk about that as far as Jupiter, but maybe they do. I don't know. But yeah, I think that if I would put it with one of the cards, I mean, you could put it with the whole reading, of course, I would maybe put it with the Temperance card in the reverse position the second week, right? So if it's talking about, having things expand in the correct proportion and balance, then this is what it wants to bring, right? So that Jupiter energy wants to bring more balance that maybe is lacking still in that second week, okay? Second and fourth week. All right, but yeah, Scorpio, that is what I have for you. And hopefully you got something from this message. And thank you so much for your energy, for your likes and shares and subscriptions. They're all great free ways to support the channel here. So if you haven't already, you can subscribe for free. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button, and as long as you have a YouTube email account, then it will just notify you when I put out new videos. And if you want to share directly with friends or family, that's definitely appreciated if you feel guided. And then, of course, if you want to like this video, not only does it tell me that you liked it in the first couple of days, first day or so, it will share more with others on YouTube, like within their algorithm. All right. So if that's something you feel guided to do, I appreciate it. All right. But yeah, let me see what time it is. We're at about 35 minutes. So we're going to go ahead here and switch over to Scorpio. All right. So thank you guys. All right. Let's see. I mean, Scorpio. We're going to switch to Sagittarius. We just did Scorpio. All right. So Sagittarius is coming. So yeah, let's charge the cards with some crystals and do a bunch of shuffling. We'll also do another sound bell and maybe a little bit of incense. All right, so again, I hope everyone's doing all right. Let's see here. I'm just gonna let everything sit with some crystals for a little bit. Before we do our shuffling, we'll do some incense and sound bell. Get in there. Okay. Always end up with like dog hair, cat hair, my hair, like everything on here sometimes. Okay. Let's put these in here. Can share their crystal. Okay. We got some music. A little bit. Okay. Let's do. Oops. I didn't mean to do the bell yet. Let's do a little incense. All right. A little fire here. Okay. Perfect for Sagittarius, right? Fire sign Sagittarius. So incense is a great free, not free, but usually it's not super expensive. I don't know why I said free. As part of my speech for the other thing, it just came out. But great way to clear the energy from the last reading, right? So a lot of times people will pass their cards through smoke, but if smoke bothers you, you can do sound vibrations, music, just your own refocusing of energy is another way to do it. But I do enjoy the incense myself. So even though a lot of times it bothers me, I like it. Okay. All in moderation, right? Everything in moderation. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. And let me actually, with that being said, open the window a little bit. Oh, not knock my lamp over. All right. Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Okay. Oh, I think I had it like that. Yep. Okay. So yeah, let's do our sound bell and get started here, Sagittarius. So for people who are just tuning in, right, it's a general reading. You can cover anything like love, work, friends, family, health, etc. It's a timeless reading, so it may resonate for some before or after March 2023. And everybody is welcome wherever you have Sagittarius in your chart, because everyone has it somewhere in their chart. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to release anything that we've been holding on to. We're going to release definitely the energy of the Scorpio reading so we can clear that. And I want to be a clear channel and channel messages from Spirit for you guys as well. All right, and just ground ourselves in general. So if you want to, you can take a couple deep breaths whenever you feel guided, or you can just listen as well. All right, so here we go for Sagittarius. All right. That was a good one, guys. Okay. Let's go ahead and do some shuffling now. All right. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for Sagittarius. Fire sign Sagittarius, the Archer, for March 2023. Kind of still loud. Hold on. Okay. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for fire sign Sagittarius for March 2023. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Messages for Sagittarius. Fire sign Sagittarius, the Archer, for their highest vibration for March 2023. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for Saggy for March 2023. 4 cards only, please, Spirits. 4 cards only. Messages for Sagittarius for March 2023. Messages for fire sign Sagittarius. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? That's good. All right. So then we'll go ahead and take what's on the top and the bottom. Oops. And we'll figure out in a moment how they want these cards. Let's go ahead and switch over to the other deck. All right. Messages for fire sign Sagittarius for March 2023. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for Sagittarius for March 2023. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Sagittarius. Spirits, guide my hands. 1 card only, please, Spirits. Messages for fire sign Sagittarius. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing, the top and the bottom. Stick. All right. And we'll deal with that in a minute. Figure out how Spirit wants all the cards at the very end. Okay. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for fire sign Sagittarius for March 2023. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Spirits guide my hands. One card only, please, for fire sign Sagittarius for March 2023. Really need to see. Really need to know. All right. Let's see. I'm just going to open up the book for later at the end for the oracle card, so I won't have to do it later. Let's see. All right. Okay. So now let's see where they want these and everything. Okay. Thank you for bearing with me, guys. All right. Let's see here. Well, I almost want to put them like this, but I'm not sure. We'll have to double check. Okay. Spirits and love and light, respect and reverence before, during, and after. Thank you for all advice, wisdom, guidance given, and thank you, of course, for listening. Spirits, did you want me to talk about the moon in the reverse position and the 9 of sacred circles in the reverse position? When I talk about the King of Cups in the reverse position. Okay, so they want those there. All right. And Spirits, did you want the 3 of Wands in the reverse position to represent what's on top of this Hermetic Tarot deck for this Sagittarius reading? Thank you. And Spirits, did you want the Lovers in the reverse position to represent what's on the bottom of this Hermetic Tarot deck for this Sagittarius reading? Thank you. Now, Spirits, did you want me to talk about the 3 of Wands in the reverse position and the Lovers in the reverse position when I talk about the Tower in the right side up position? No. Okay. Let's see. Possibly over here then. Spirits, did you want me to talk about the 3 of Wands in the reverse position and the Lovers in the reverse position when I talk about the Fool in the right side up position? Oh, okay. So they want that there. Alrighty. So yeah, I think we're good. Let's just take our photo real quickly and get started. Let's see. Hopefully the glare isn't too bad. Sometimes I just like to stand up and do it because the lighting is weird. Okay. I think that's good, right? Yep. All right. Let me see what time we're at now. We're at 47 minutes or so. All right. So let's see what we have here for you, Sagittarius. So we're going to go ahead and call out your cards and go in order here. But we are talking about this 4-week time period during March. But of course, it may go more from the past, a little bit each way, like a couple months in the past or weeks in the past or a couple months, weeks in the future. All right. So always keep that in mind. But yes, we were saying that the first card, first week, may be from around March 1st through the 7th. So general guideline. Timing is not always super accurate, okay, for the timing. Second card, second week, we said could be from around March 8th through the 15th. Third card, third week, we said could be from around March 16th through the 22nd. And the fourth card could be from around March 23rd through the 31st, okay? So I'll kind of say the dates again when we're on those cards a little bit later. But let's call your cards out here. So Sagittarius, I say that because I'm a sun sign Sag, right? Say it with love. We've got the Fool in the right side up position. We have the King of Cups in the reverse position. We have the Tower in the right side up position. And we have the King of Swords in the right side up position. And then we'll talk about these other cards underneath a little bit later. But yeah, let's see your Sagittarius. So you have 2 major arcanas in the future, current, present energies, and then you have 1 in the past, okay? So we have Gemini Sagittarius energy with the Fool card. We have Scorpio energy with the Tower. we have the moon Pisces energy in the past. Okay, so what does that mean? For some, you may be dealing with a Gemini, Sagittarius, Scorpio, or Pisces, or you have a lot of that predominantly in your birth chart, or the other person does, multiple people. Or it could be referencing something in your birth chart and their birth chart that could give you even more clues or insight about why you've come to this reading. It could also be referencing for some, a season, right? So it could be referencing Gemini season, Sagittarius season, Scorpio season, Pisces season of this year, of last year, of next year, or it means nothing at all, but I always like to do it in the beginning, all right? So now real quickly, let's also see what the majority of your minor arcana is, okay? So we've definitely got 2 swords over here. Oh, sorry, I just realized you have 4 major arcanas. I don't know why I just didn't see that one. So let's go back for a second. Again, 2 major arcanas in the present current possibilities energy, and 2 are in the past. So we actually have the official card for Gemini, we have Lovers. So we said we had a little bit of Gemini with the Fool, but now we actually have the official card for Gemini. So anyway, the other thing I want to say real quickly before we go back to what I was doing with the minor arcana is when we have a lot of major arcanas, it can talk about a significant amount of change, not necessarily good or bad change, we don't know, right? But we have 2 in the past and 2 in the present, okay? So it's just something to kind of be aware of. Now going back to where I was earlier, we have 2 swords cards, 1 wand, 1 cup, and 1 pentacle. Okay, so it looks like the majority of the minor arcana is definitely swords. So what does that mean? It can be an underlying theme additionally to this reading. Swords talk about our crown chakra, our logical mind. So it can be about mental health. Is my mental health in a good place and a not so good place for the other person, vice versa, general environment situation, okay? Also, can I use my sword as a tool or a weapon? Same kind of thing, okay? But yeah, let's go in order here, Sagittarius. Okay, we start off with your first card, first week, with that Fool in the right side up position. And we said this could be from around March 1st through the 7th, okay? Gemini, Sagittarius energy. But I like this here for you, Sagittarius, especially in that first week of the new month of March, okay? Because it is kind of asking somebody or something to take a leap of faith, to have trust in something you can't see what the results are going to be, okay? It can also, for some, the more shadow side of the Fool card energy can talk about, let's look at ego, identity, any issues around that, okay? So in this deck, if you can see, there is a tarot reader actually, and there's a mirror behind her, and in the reflection in the mirror, you see just, that reflection being repeated, like further back, right? And so that can be, do I care if I appear foolish? Do I care if others think that I'm foolish, right? Vice versa. So that's kind of like the energy of the Fool card, okay, when it shows up here. Now, Sagittarius, this whole reading can be about you again, or someone, multiple people you're dealing with, your general environment situation. But in particular, when we talk about that first card, it can be energy from the recent past, kind of still trickling in, okay? But I like the Fool card myself. Of course, depending on where it shows up in the reading, but here it feels like it's wanting you to step into that energy here, Sagittarius. Okay. So looking for that fresh start energy to make that leap of faith, to have courage with something. And yeah, just trust. Okay. But let's see actually what's underneath it before we keep going forward with your reading. So this is energy from the past. I call them the sponsor cards, okay? So they made it possible for that Fool in the right side up position to show up here for you. So what we have is the 3 of Wands in reverse position and the Lovers in the reverse position. So this could be energy from the past. It could be a couple of days ago, weeks, months, years, etc., whatever the past is for you. All right, and again, they made it possible for this one to come out. So with the Three of Wands in the reverse position in the past, other fire sign energies, right? So Aries and Leo, as well as Sagittarius with the wands, there could have been a lack of passion or creativity, or even a lack of working on one's physical body or health in the past in some way, right? With that Three of Wands in the reverse position. But it also could be that there was just this feeling of there wasn't enough growth or movement in general around whatever we want to manifest in our life, right? So they call it, let's see what they call it. In this deck, they call the Three of Wands, if it was right side up, the Lord of Established Strength. Okay, so it's in the reverse position. So it's like a lack of strength in, one of those themes or a couple of those themes. Now, when you pair it with the Lovers card, also in the reverse position, it's almost like there was some type of relationship, whether it's romantic, platonic, or self love, that was not balanced. Okay, there wasn't enough of an equal give and take. And also, there was, what do you call it? More lower vibrational frequencies, not high vibe stuff. So, not bringing the best out in each other if it's about two people or two parties, two energies, etc. Okay, so what they call the lovers in the lovers card in this deck is children of the voice divine. Okay, if it was right side up, right? So that's the whole thing about what do they say? There's some quote like children are the orgasm of life, or they represent what life is all about. Obviously, they come from orgasms, but I don't remember. There's some quote like that, right? So when it's in that reverse position, it's almost like the children or the future, or like voices from the divine higher vibrational frequency love is reversed, okay, with the lovers in reverse. So again, some type of relationship that wasn't high vibe in some way here, okay? So when you put all that together from the past with the Fool in the right side up position, it's almost like despite all of that going on, or because that was going on here, Sagittarius, somebody or some energy wants you to move forward and make that leap of faith, to trust in something you don't know how it's going to go down, but perhaps you need that, okay, or the other person needs it, or the general environment situation needs that, okay. And to get that fresh start energy, because usually in other decks, when you see the Fool, it's a guy on the edge of the cliff, and he's got a little dog with him and all his stuff, and then we see the other edge of the cliff, and so he's supposed to jump from one edge of the cliff to the other, and we don't know if he's going to make it, right? And so it's again kind of being like, well, do I have any other choice, right? Can the Fool go backwards? I mean, I guess he could, but not really, because he's come to that point, right? The Fool in the tarot is also the first tarot card, right? So it's the first part of a journey, the first step of some type of new journey or some type of new thing, or even if it's not new, just the first step, okay? So yeah, so that's what we have as far as the first week here, Sagittarius. Again, I like it for you, me personally, but let's see what else we have here for you, okay? Let me get that out of the way too. So Sagittarius, when we come to the second card, second week, which we said could be from around March 8th through the 15th, there is a little bit of this energetic blockage, gentle reminder, or challenge, or energy slowdown here, okay? Because we have the King of Cups in that reverse position, okay? So it could be that somebody or someone, it's the same thing, somebody or some energy is not ready to level up in some way. Their leadership qualities could be affected, or even their confidence, as far as their emotional confidence or their emotional leadership qualities, or just all those things and the emotions, right? Because cups and tarot talk about our emotions. But it could be also feeling a lack of support, or that you have the right resources to produce something, okay, with that King of Cups in the reverse position. Because normally when we think of people in power or even politicians, right? They always have a big team behind them. Okay, so even though he's a king in reverse, if he was right side up, he would have all these people being like helping dress him in the morning and cook his food and blah blah blah, all the things that they do, right? So there could be that feeling of a lack of support or a lack of emotional support or emotional resources in some way. Okay. But let's like look what's underneath it to get even more insight here, Sagittarius, about why this King of Cups showed up in the reverse position. So again, this is past energy. It could be a couple days ago, weeks, months, years, etc. They made it possible for the King of Cups in the right side up. The King of Cups in the reverse position to show up here. Okay. So what we have is the Moon in the reverse position and the the Nine of Sacred Circles in the reverse position, also known as Nine of Pentacles. All right. So it looks like here in the past with that Moon card, Pisces energy, somebody was, or some energy was not seeing everything clearly. Okay. But then in the past, that energy was then started to be seen more clearly, okay, if that makes sense. So the Moon card, if it was right side up, I always compare it to sleeping over someone's house, all the lights are out, you get up to get a glass of water, you see the coat rack, but you don't remember it's a coat rack. You're like, is that a person, a monster, a coat rack, right? That would be the Moon card right side up. But when it's reversed, somebody has turned on the light, okay? Somebody in the past then saw and got more information surrounding something. They got more wisdom surrounding something. So the Moon in reverse card would be what we call a good reversal, right? But for some, it could be if you're talking about, let's say, hobbies or side hustles or just, creativity and that kind of thing. With the Moon in the reverse position, it could be there was a creative block in the past for some, not for everybody, right? But then over here, we have that Nine of Sacred Circles in the reverse position, Nine of Pentacles. So somebody or some energy in the past also lacked focus. They were distracted or you were distracted, etc. Sorry, speaking of distracted. Oh, why aren't you going down? Sorry, guys, hold on. Trying to turn this down. Okay. Sometimes the buttons don't go down all the way if I have too much stuff in there. Okay. So, where was I? Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Sacred Circles in the reverse position. The lack of focus or determination, being distracted is what I was starting to say. And so when you add all those things up together, also Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Sacred Circles, feeling a lack of, what did I say? Emotional support here, feeling a lack of financial support, okay, with the Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Sacred Circles in reverse. Also could be feeling a lack of values or being valued in some way, which would also affect in the current present circumstances that Nine of Cups to be in the reverse position as well, okay? So again, we're just kind of getting more insight. But, to stop for a second here, Sagittarius, and say, where this reading may be going, right? Because it's not all bad or not all doom and gloom. I never like to look at things that way. There's always got to be a little bit of good stuff somewhere, okay? Towards the end of the reading, things do start to get more forward momentum and progress, okay? More in that fourth week. So this is a perfect point to be like, okay, let's pull back and look at the whole reading for a second here. If I was to say, like, your first and your fourth week look like the best. So if there is something that you can, within your own power, change or manifest during the month of March, I would either do it in the first week or the fourth week at the end. Okay, so if it's like travel or it's like manifestations, spell work, prayers, etc., I would do it it's going to be more beneficial in that first and fourth week. Okay. All right. So back to where we were though. Sagittarius. We go from that King of Cups in the reverse position to your third week, which we said could be from around March 16th through the 22nd. The Tower card is here now. Okay. Scorpio energy. So people get scared of the Tower. I personally like the Tower. Oh, actually, it goes this way. Sorry, guys. Yeah. All right. So second week, third week. Why do I like the Tower? Because it was like things were uncomfortable emotionally in the second week, right? And definitely in the past, even if you look at all four of these cards we just talked about on the bottom. So something's going to come in here and shake things up. Whether you want it or the other person or multiple people, general environment situation wants it. Now the universe is like almost forcing its hand to bring about some kind of change. Okay. Could be good change, bad change, could be big change, could be small change, right? We don't know yet. But it is about breaking something down all the way to its foundation. Okay. So we see the lightning hitting the top of the the top of the tower, which is our crown chakra, is what I'm going to say. Okay, so it represents enlightenment, spiritual downloads, revelations. Oh, now I finally understand something, or beginning to finally understand something. So again, breaking something down to its foundation, so then it can be rebuilt, and so there's more understanding and more change and growth. Okay, so based on your fourth card, though, I would say whatever this change is here for you, Sagittarius, whether it's good or bad, big or small, um, it is then bringing in, your other second best card in the reading. Okay, that's the King of Swords in the right side up position, which we said could be from around March 23rd through 31st. Okay, as a general guideline. So this is about now having mental clarity, okay, having a good mental health place for you or for others, okay. He's using actually his sword in this card as not as a weapon, as a tool, okay. So he's going fishing, okay. So we see the King of Swords is this big, tall Japanese giant guy, and he's going fishing, okay. But it is also, there could be some type of leveling up here for you, Sagittarius, in that fourth week, the end of March or even early April, because it's the King of Swords, right? And we have anytime King or Queens, it means leveling up. So it could be that you're leveling up in one area of your life or multiple areas of your life when we see this King of Swords in the right side up position. If it's not necessarily leveling up in one area of your life or multiple areas of your life, the next stage of something, right? Progression for momentum. It could also be, I lost my train of thought for a second. What was I going to say? It could also be having more confidence, okay, in being clear cut about something, having more confidence in general, or stepping into your power or your royalty energy, or for the other person, vice versa, etc. But I really like this here for you, because if you look at what he's standing in, right, he's standing in water. So that water in the tarot represents emotions. So he can feel his emotions. He doesn't show them to everybody because he's the King of Swords. He shows them to a select few, but he still uses them to make his decisions, okay? And he uses them to, of course, go fishing, right? To stand in that water and get the fish. So I like this fourth week here for you, definitely Sagittarius, but we're not quite done with the tarot yet. Let's see what else we have over here for you, and then your little oracle card at the end. So yes, so now we're going to talk about your tarot confirmation card, which is a combination of future and past energy, okay? And what you have is another swords card, the Four of Swords in the right side up position, okay? Sagittarius, what they call this card in this Hermetic deck, the Four of Swords, they call it the Lord of Rest from Strife, okay? So yeah, so it's like no more fighting, no more anxiety, worry, overthinking, that kind of thing when we see the Four of Swords energy. Um, because three of the swords are up. And then, well, actually, all the swords are up, right? But the ones that are kind of just outlining the illustration here, there's one at the top and one at the bottom. They're not the Four of Swords that we're talking about. They're just probably showing that it's a swords card in this deck. But it makes me think of the Four of Swords talking about, do I need to take a rest physically, mentally, all those things, spiritually? Or am I putting something to rest? Okay. Am I done with the situation? Am I done with something? Okay. So because it's kind of showing up here right after that King of Swords, um, it makes me feel, for the majority of you guys, that it's not necessarily putting something to rest, but getting more rest. Okay. So you can be a king or a queen. So you can step into your power, your leadership, your confidence, or just owning your own space, etc., manifesting whatever it is you want in your life. Okay. So taking the rest that you need physically, emotionally, spiritually, all the things, right? So a lot of times in other decks, when you see the Four of Swords, it's somebody laying on top of a tomb, right? So like first you're like, is it a tomb or is it a bed or is it a couch, right? Like they just look like they could be sleeping. So that's why it has both that duality of, is somebody going to go to rest and never wake up, putting something to rest? Are they going to die, right? As a metaphor, not to be scary, okay? Or is it just about getting that rest so then they can rise up again and live again and do all the things and manifest again, okay? So can go two different ways here, Sagittarius, but for the majority of you guys, I just see it as getting that rest to step into the King of Swords energy, okay? And if this King of Swords energy is not you, or if you feel like this whole reading is maybe not you, it's someone you're dealing with or in your environment, that you got air sign energy here. So it could be somebody who displays masculine energy, and they could be a Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, but not necessarily, doesn't have to be. Okay. So with all that being said, Sagittarius, let's get your little oracle card before you go. All right, for this time period or even beyond. And the one you got is the peacock's tail. All right, it's got some really pretty colors here. I know I've seen this card before, but it's been a minute. So when I think of peacocks, especially in like Indian culture, they're like really, like peacocks in general just are so beautiful and really respected. And I feel like, of course, they represent beauty and grace and stuff, but I almost feel like it's something to do with good luck or luck, but I can't remember exactly. But let's go ahead and see what this little book has to say anyways, because this is from the Wild Unknown Alchemy Oracle deck, okay, that my dear friend gave me. All right, shout out to my friend. You know who you are. Okay, so what does this talk about? We'll read some of it, but not all of it. It says full vision, the spectrum, and inclusivity, right? So including people or including something, right? So it says the peacock's tail is a sacred image in alchemy. The mesmerizing display of tail feathers opens to mark the alchemist having shifted from single to multi-perspective. This is a great achievement. The alchemist has opened 1,000 sets of eyes instead of just one. All right. They have disregarded black and white thinking and have allowed the full spectrum of colors, nuances, and solutions to come into the fold. Creative solutions to complex social and political polarities can be found in this sacred space. All right, so let's see what else it says here. Bring as much color as you can. Bring in as much color as you can today. Experiment. Use it as a therapeutic means of expression and a way to loosen up rigid thoughts. All right. Okay, the other one doesn't apply because that's if we took more than one oracle card here. But yeah, let's see what else here. It says the force field of possibilities has opened when you receive this card, and the alchemist has entered a new paradigm belonging to multiplicity, dimensionality, and inclusion. Use this perspective for positive change while it lasts. When falling back into black and white thinking, as any alchemist may do from time to time, envision the splendor of the peacock's tail. Each feather contains a shimmering universe of possibility. All right. And this deck always talks about some film, music, poetry to get more into the energy of this card. So it says to go deeper, watch the movie The Wizard of Oz. Okay. Interesting. All right. And then it says to also to think about or ponder a thousand eyes. Okay. So I don't know what they mean by the thousand eyes thing. I mean, I guess, what did it say earlier? You've opened a thousand set of eyes instead of one. So yeah, I guess just taking in different viewpoints, philosophies, angles, ways of looking at things. So then, yeah, I kind of get it. But yeah, let's see here, Sagittarius. Um, I would definitely put the peacock's tail with the tower, right? Whether it's you or the other person, most people, general environment situation, that tower that represents spiritual enlightenment, spiritual downloads, revelations. Oh, now I finally get it. Aha moments, right? That's going to happen when you look at something possibly from a different perspective. Okay. If you also kind of look at just the colors of the tower, they're not black and white per se, but they're really dark in the tower, right? The way that things are going that hasn't been great. But then when the lightning comes in or the fire comes in to bring that down, then you have more colors too. So that's another cool thing I just saw. All right. But I like this for you, Sagittarius. And I hope, you'll let me know in the comments down below how things, shape up for you if you feel guided. But yeah, that is what I have for you. Thank you, as always, for your likes, shares, and your views and your subscriptions. All great free ways to support the channel here. So if you haven't yet and you want to, you can subscribe for free by just hitting the subscribe button, as long as you have a basic YouTube email account. It just emails you when I put out new videos. And if you want to share this video with others, to send directly to friends or family, definitely appreciate it if you feel guided. And if you want to like this video, not only does it tell me that you like something in the video, but also it shares it more. It shares it more with other people on YouTube because of YouTube's algorithms. Okay, in the first couple of days or something like that. All right, but only if you feel guided. But you guys take care and enjoy this time period. And I will probably be back on Tuesday, maybe tomorrow, but probably Tuesday with Capricorn and Aquarius. Okay, so I haven't forgot about you guys. You're coming up next. Okay, so anyway, you guys take care, and I will see you later. Oh, and also, if you want to see the photo too, one photo of all these cards, I will be posting it shortly. So all you have to do is click in the description box below and follow the little instructions there on how to find the photo. All right, so you guys take care, and I will see you later. All right, bye.